Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is anchor Yoyo speaking. Can you believe that Chinese people already gave up search engines? I know it sounds ridiculous and impossible. Back to over 20 years ago, Google and other social media apps from foreign countries can still be used in China. However, eventually all of these were blocked. Of course, currently we have VPNs or other tools to help us to open the websites or help us to use those foreign social media apps. However, we could be arrested by the cops for what we have done. That's why using VPNs is too dangerous for us. In China, we do have similar search engines, and one of them was Baidu. Maybe some of you already heard of, but we just simply gave all of these things up. Let's find out why. Around 2010, at least 15 years from now, I remembered we could still use Google and some other social media websites from foreign countries. So at that time, Google and Baidu, these two search engines were competitors. That's why, to attract more users, Baidu needed to expand its database, and also it needed to improve its efficiency as well as accuracy so that users will stay more on Baidu instead of Google. At that time, I remembered because Baidu was more Chinese language oriented, so sometimes the Chinese answers from Baidu could be even more accurate from Google. But after 2012, around that time, Google and other social media apps were all blocked in China mainland. That's why Baidu became the top, because it was a big company, and it was also the company who set up the search engine in China mainland in the earliest time. That's why if Google, this biggest competitor, disappeared, then Baidu controlled almost all the social resources. It became the top and no one could beat it. And later on, eventually we found most of the information appear on Baidu is either advertisements or even some scam. This information would be useless for us, and some of these information could be harmful for us. So eventually we stopped using Baidu and turned to other social media apps from China mainland. Maybe some of you might ask, do you think search engines can really be replaced by those social media apps? In China mainland, I'm confident to say yes, definitely. Here are the reasons. Baidu is one of the biggest websites in China. It is also one of the earliest websites in China. That's why censorship on Baidu could be quite strict. So many content and many keywords were blocked on this website. That's why when you use that, you will find answers are either useless, replaced by advertisements, or the answers are too short. So basically nothing there. But there is an app called Red Note. Maybe some of you already heard of that because TikTok refugees came to Red Note for only a short time because TikTok is not banned yet. Red Note was designed for women mostly. At the beginning, many women will share their cosmetics and some skincare experience on that. And it's quite user-friendly, the interface. You can see videos and you can see some sentences or paragraphs, and there are also many good pictures. So it's the best thing to replace Baidu. And also because of the economic problems. China is trying to challenge the existing trading order of the world. And also, the bad intentions over Taiwan and other countries made the world think it's not becoming a friendlier country. Instead, it's turning back to the dictatorship. That's why most of the young people will find it tough to find jobs after graduation. And even if for those who already had a job, they are worrying about deducting their salary and also being fired by the boss. So many people will also do something else after work. And one of the most popular part-time jobs of Chinese people is to post content on social media apps. That's why there are so many people doing the same thing. So no matter what kind of answers or topics you want to know or you want to discuss, you can definitely find on Red Note. I remember last year when I traveled to Japan, I bought a very small but very beautiful hand cream. But that brand was very local and not internationally popular. So I was trying to use Google to find if I can get it in Hong Kong or China. However, I didn't find the answer on Google, but I took a photo and then upload that on Red Note. Then it gave me the answer. Okay, here is a shop and it helps you to buy something from that city in Japan. Oh my God. So it really replaced Baidu or even Google. So you can imagine how accurate RedNote is. And there is also a data. Last year, there were nearly 20 million active live show accounts from all social media apps in China. And remember, it's just accounts for live shows. Some people do not do live shows, like me. I do videos or I post other contents. So if we calculate all of these freelancers and KOLs, I can imagine how big the number is. So that's why, because Baidu cannot provide what we want. And also because of the economy downturn, many people are trying to do some freelance jobs or part-time jobs to survive. That's why RedNote and also other social media apps in China replaced our search engines. That's all for my sharing for today. Thank you guys so much for coming. I will see you again very soon in my next episode.